burning like that power. Yes, y'all. Feeling funky fresh, y'all. Work to be the best, y'all. Work good under press, y'all. Been through all that stress, y'all. Get this off my chest, y'all. Made it out them projects with this project that's progress, y'all. I did it for my mama. I told her when I was younger that I'ma be that number one. Yep, I'll be that number one. I take it higher and higher, higher and higher. I stay and buy a tire. Keep burning like that fire.
I could do this all day. Thought it would work. Bo do it yesterday, and I couldn't take my eyes off of him. I'm sitting over here, and I'm trying to stop looking at him because he wants me to look at him, and I don't do things people tell me to do. So I tried to turn. I kept staring at him. Did anybody watch him during his time on stage, his warm-up, his preparation? It's like a professional act. He's over in the corner. Oh, I got to go pro now. Good. Hello. Back on board. He was a professional athlete, so his pre-game, he's over in the side, backpedaling. He's doing the karaoke's, and I'm like, wow, this is what you get ready for speaking engagement? And he had his warm-up wore me out, and I'm just watching him. And I'm sitting there thinking, we could make a Beachbody program out of that. So I called Carl, and they're negotiating. They're figuring it out. So, John Dwyer, a lot of people probably heard of me, probably haven't seen me, maybe have seen me, didn't know who I was, and I liked it that way. So that was fine. I just put my clicker away, and I need my clicker. How are you? Oh, I'm going pro again. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? We're getting there? All right, good. Let's keep this up here just in case. I'll screw it up somehow. So, this is me and my wife. I don't know if everybody recognizes her. This was about a month ago. We were on our anniversary, and this was our last day, so we're drinking our probably 400th pina colada before we got in the plane. And we are celebrating our 10-year anniversary, which is amazing. Honestly, because I don't know how she stayed with me this long. But you think about 10 years ago of where we were then. Christine told you the story about being a radiology tech and into radiology sales, into now we're hosting an event for almost 1,000 of our closest friends. It's pretty mind-boggling and very humbling, especially to me, because I'm not usually up here, so it's pretty amazing. So I love her to death. I'm so proud of her, and I'll cry if I keep going. So other people might know me as so I'm the guy that carries the bags, gets to the water, stuff like that. So represent! It's us. Not the better half, but we're okay. We're okay. These are my kids. My son Johnny, he's 8 years old. First year of football this year. And my daughter Peyton, she's 6. First year of cheerleading this year. Love them to pieces. Miss them to death. We've been away from them since Thursday, and can't wait to get home. So we're a family that does a lot together. We do a lot of events together. We're big Yankees fans, so you'll see us at the Yankee games all the time. If you know my Facebook account, which is good. Some of you know it, which is good. That's right. John Red Sox Suck Dwyer. We got that. Big Cowboys fans. We better win today. It's the Jaguars. Come on. Jesus. And we're also the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This was our Halloween get-up this year. Christine's up on the rocks. Up there on the rocks. Christine on the rocks. Shaking, not stirred. And then if you know me very well, too, then you got my other baby. Right there. It's a company car. It's a perk for being Mr. Christine Dwyer. It's a perk. So now let's talk about what I'm here for. So my talk today is about transitioning from your job to becoming a partner with your spouse's business. So what we're talking about is not making your significant other a Beachbody coach, because it's not for everybody. And I see a lot of that time is, how do I get my husband to become a coach? And how does he, to be more involved in the business, but they're very reluctant because they either are intimidated by the business or it's just not them, they don't fit, but they really do want to be part of this business. They really want to help in the success of driving your business. And this is kind of about that more than converting him to be a coach. And he's already a coach already. We already know this. There we go. Oh, otherwise known as my hashtag for this. So use it, Pinterest it, or Facebook it, whatever you need from there. It's catchy. It's easy to remember. So as I said here, how many of you have signed up your coach or your spouse to be your emerald, to make your emerald? That's right. That's right. My clicker's not working. So you got to raise your right leg or your left leg. And the response to that answer, it didn't come up fast enough. I apologize. Now, the next question. How many of you were forced by your spouse to stand on stage in front of 1,000 people, tell your story? It wasn't gunpoint, but it might as well have been. I'm way more comfortable back there. Yeah. It's the only way I'm going to get through this. The only way I get there. And good thing you guys are in shape, so. Looks good, looks good. All right, so let's get into my story. I want to tell you about really where I came from to then how I got to here. So in my previous life, see, this has got a cool laser pointer, too. You can do this, too. So if it's not working, I'm just going to play with the laser. I have about 20 years of IT management experience, so I'm just not the purse carrier. So I got something a little bit up here sometimes. Successfully rebuilt and started 2 successful IT services companies, built them into multi-million-dollar revenue-generating organizations, and responsible for thousands of IT clients, computer systems, infrastructure is another word. Oh, yeah. Not too fast, not too far. My last job was a vice president and chief information officer for a company. I had about 500 people that were responsible for 6 different locations, and the team of people that I managed were responsible for anything that connected to the network. So you guys are very used to this. Anything iPhones, any laptops, telephones, printers, copiers, it was all our responsibility. And the reason why I say this, and it'll lead into everything else, is my responsibility was to make sure that everything worked. Because if none of this stuff worked, those people couldn't do their jobs. Thus, those companies weren't making any money. So that's a big thing. If none of this stuff worked, that was my responsibility, to make sure everything in the background worked so that the business could keep going on with their mission to make money. And this is what Christine used to tell everybody I used to do. Come on. You're killing me. That was my job. That's all she knew. All right. So when we talk about the fitness thing versus the real job, 10 minutes in, I got 20 more minutes? Oh, my gosh. If I had a heart rate monitor on right now, you'd be it's crazy. So Christine and I laugh about this fitness thing versus a real job. So when Christine kind of get into this Beachbody thing, I was doing my quote-unquote real job. And she was doing her fitness thing. So every morning we'd get up, she'd roll out of bed, head down to her office, hair would be all crazy mess. She doesn't look, all made up like you see her every time here in all the pictures. Sit at her computer, and she'd be there. I'd get up, I'd put on my fancy suit, get in my car, drive an hour to work, do my whole big important job, come back, an hour, pull in the door, and there she is, still sitting in that same spot, wearing the same thing, hair still the same way. So you can see I didn't take it too seriously, because in my mind, you weren't going to a job, you just were getting up and getting on the computer, and you didn't take a shower, you weren't all fancy dressed up. If you see me in a suit now, somebody better be dead. Yeah. At this time. So this is kind of when the light went on. So she had one day handed me a Beachbody commission check and said, hey, can you run down to the ATM and cash this for me, put it, deposit it for me. So remember, at this time, we kind of had our own checking accounts. So neither of us really knew how much each other was making. And what we would do is every month we would take our money, put it into a joint account, and it would go out to pay our bills. So I said, yeah, I'll take that check and I'll take it down. And I pulled up and punched in the debit card and said, all right, deposit and how much you putting in. And I looked down. Okay, so punch that in. Wow, that was amazing. So then you get the receipt. So you got to peek. You got to know what's in there now. You got to peek. So I look at the number on that, and wow, it was way more than I expected it to be. So at that point, the light went on that this fitness thing was probably a bit more important than my little suited up CIO tech geek job. So come on. The assessment. So I went and I talked to her about this business. What is this thing? What are you doing that this bank account is that big? Because remember, I'm important. I'm the man. Why? Well, it really is an ego killer. So we got into it. We talked about it. And I finally looked at it and said, I've got some skill sets from what I've done in my career in organization and making sure that we got the back office and stuff working, making sure that, you can keep moving forward while not getting bogged down in this other stuff. So we kind of said, okay, that's probably a good idea. So now we said, let's move forward and let's become partners in this business. So that's, again, that's an assessment. I got a vet out of this. Pet partners. So, yeah, realized my job was exact. So now we're going to start getting into this planning for a transition stage. 15 minutes down. We're getting there. So now we have to start talking about doing this job. You just can't walk away from the job that you got. You can't just walk in the next day and go, hey, my wife's making a lot of money. See ya! You can't do that. There's things that you have to take care of before doing this. I'm clicking, I really am. There's the real job benefits. So what I'm talking about is, I was the one that had the health insurance, the 401ks, the life insurance, the paid vacation at that time. So we can't just walk away from that. We got 2 kids, young kids at the time, and they're expensive. Doctor visits all the time, immunizations and stuff like that. So we needed to make sure that we put those things in line. So one of the first things that we did was we hired a CPA and a financial advisor. Not a tax guy. Tax guy tells you how much money you owe the government every year. Doesn't tell you how to not pay the government every year. That's your goal. Hold on to every single dime you can. So that's why we hire these guys. Yes, they're expensive. Man, when I told Christine, I said, we're going to hire these guys. How much? How much? Don't worry about it. Because they're going to save us way more than they're going to cost. So think about that one. And then a financial advisor. Remember, this job isn't going to be just for today. You're going to go and do this for 10 years, hopefully 15 years, maybe forever, but eventually you're going to want to stop. So you want to take all that money. Just like in any job, you want to retire someday. So don't just spend every commission check and successful bonus check you get today. From that point on, we set up a corporation. We set up the health insurance. We set up the life insurance policy. So remember, before it was on me, because I was the one with the real job. I was the real guy. I was the significant person. No. She dies, thank God forbid. We're screwed. We're screwed. It won't be fun. It's not funny. No. Payroll. We had to set up payroll. Now we're a real business, so now we got to set up payroll. Got to set up those quarterly tax filings and stuff like that. So that goes back to my thing with the CPA and the financial advisor. Let them do this. That's why you're paying for this. But this is stuff that we all have to think about before quitting that job. Okay? After we did all this stuff, we realized by getting all this stuff in place, by setting up the corporations, by getting all that payroll stuff, by taking care of all of our tax deductions that we now can do because we're a corporation and we're running a legitimate business, the ROI on me coming home with my real job was 1 month. So it was pretty amazing for us. So I stopped working. That's it. No, I paid for myself, so we're done. Not true. Wish it was true. So next thing was stop, look, and listen. So remember, I still have not quit yet. We set that stuff up. We have it in place. But now I needed to understand what the heck am I going to do when I get into our new business, when I start being a partner in this. So my job was to stop, look, and listen. Meaning, I sat down with her, watched everything that she did, took notes on everything she did, questioned everything she did. Because she's too busy running this business. So she didn't have time to go sit down with me over here and just let me explain how this works and stuff. I let her keep moving forward, but I sat down with her and watched that stuff. Where's Danielle? Danielle's here. She was our assistant at the time, and she remembers this phase. She remembers us doing that. Danielle couldn't be our assistant anymore because she lives in Rochester. Now we live in Texas. So she was great. We loved her. So we sat down and did all that stuff. So now, did I click too soon? These are some of the things that I took over to take them off her plate so that she could keep moving this business forward. Again, moving it forward. So I took over these personally sponsored coach reports. I mean, we know how fun that is every Wednesday night, looking at that, who's going to be keeping their diamonds or their emeralds, so we keep our ranks and get our bonuses and our paychecks every week. So I took all over this, and then I work with those coaches to identify those opportunities that they have to move up in rank, or those risks that they have that, hey, do you know that so-and-so's gone inactive, or hey, doesn't have enough PVs, that you're not going to keep your rank. There's Danielle, right there. I found her. I knew she's here. So that's one of the things that we do. And then we notify those guys. The PlatinumPresenters.com website. Remember, I'm a tech geek. So we revamped that, rebuilt it, so that it's more easy to use for you guys. And I constantly am the one redoing that, maintaining that, posting calls, stuff from there. So if you have any problems with that, it's usually my fault. Thank you. Coach recognition. So in our downline, again, in our personally sponsored coaches, I run those reports. And again, look for those people there that she needs to be able to recognize that are doing great jobs out there. Okay? So I run all that stuff so she can keep moving forward. If she's bogged down in that type of reporting, she's not recruiting coaches, she's not moving forward. So remember, that's kind of the goal. Free the coach up to continue to move forward. The live webinars and team calls, everybody participating in those? Beyond those? If not, got to. They're very, very important. We work with a lot of our top coaches in our whole downline that take their time out to give you guys good material to be able to use and train yourself constantly. And they're recorded and they're up there. There's a whole library of them up there. So I work with those coaches so that they'll volunteer their time to be able to provide that for an entire downline. That's for everybody in the downline. Expense reports. Now you're a business. So you got a lot of stuff you can write off. Write it off. But who's going to maintain that? You want the revenue generating side of your partnership being bogged down and putting these big expense reports together? No. Let them keep making more money. Let you save that money. Okay? That's kind of the things that I work with here. And again, when we're talking about, you can write off, you probably already know this, all your fees, all your Shakeology. These are things that we write off. Maybe it's not legal. It's fine. So it's funny. So Christine's always buying these outfits for these things here. So I go to my CPA. I said, we can write this off. We can write this off. Are you going to wear it ever again? Maybe. Well, then you can't write it off. So she bought those special shoes for this event. I'm never wearing these again. So you can write these shoes off. Kevin, can I? Kevin will tell me. Where is he? I can write those off. Sure, why not? Sure. So it's funny. So we'll write off everything. Let them figure it out and come find me later. We'll have a talk. I have a receipt. Event planning and coordination. So this is one of the things, too. Again, bogged down in these type of events. Planning in the Super Saturdays. We have this recognition for her personally sponsored coaches. It's called the Platinum Experience. So we bring them down and wine and dine them and drink our faces off and eat way too much and get sunburned. And this year we rode a mechanical bull. That was fun. That was a good time. And then, of course, the Platinum Edge. So we plan this jointly together. And this is months and months of planning and fights and budgets. And I want this, I want that. Sure. And then the big one here, tech support. So, again, being the IT guy. So, again, whatever she needs. When I talk about tech support, this is another funny story. So, again, I'm the IT guy, I'm the tech nerd. So we switched from our Windows machines into these Mac machines. So, yeah, it's worked out. I got an iPhone and it works with it, so that's good. So this is how she got me sucked into this world, because again, I was an IT guy and that's the Windows world and stuff. So she goes and buys this Mac, and I had no idea about Macs. So I said, well, now you're on your own. I'm not a support of Mac. I had a Mac on my desk the next day. Figure yours out so you can figure mine out. So from that point on. So now we're all a Mac shop. And then these are the other things. These are the other big ones we do. And we're moving forward, but again, this is what I hear. This is not women's work thing. Or that's women's work. Stop it. You see what I talked about? How much money that she brings in? I'll do a load of laundry any day. I'll do a load of laundry. Groceries, kids to school. What else do I got down here? Extracurricular activity. Man, I run these kids everywhere. They're living the dream. They're like, we ever going to take a school bus? No. Driving with me. Dogs. You won't even know what I have to do with these damn dogs. She talked about yesterday how Fifi, our laundry, is chewing up her Pio CDs. If that was it, that would be great. I'm always cleaning up something. And I always say, your dogs. And they're constantly trying to we want a cat. You can have a cat. You got to get rid of 2 dogs. You can have a cat. That's fine with me. Picking up the house. I'm a neat freak, so this is not a big deal. I put it up here. It makes me look good, but I don't really care. I'm a neat freak, man. Don't leave stuff on the counter, please. Family schedule. She has no idea where anybody's supposed to be at any time of the day. She don't know half the time where she's supposed to be. So that's what I take care of. I make sure that she's where she's supposed to be, the kids are where they're supposed to be, where I'm supposed to be. So we make sure we get there. Again, she doesn't need to worry about that stuff. Work. Make me money. All I want to see. I will do the laundry. See ya. Laundry. So when you guys sit there and say, oh, here we go. I'll put this over here. So when I hear those guys sit there and go, oh, that's a woman's job or whatever else, yeah, cut it down. Stop it. Your wife's making $1 billion. Go sit down. or the short description of my job, do what is necessary to allow her to focus on growing that business. So it makes your life a whole lot easier. A lot easier. We're going to talk. I have 5 minutes. I am actually going to use this time? Holy cow. My recommendations for making working together successful. This one's big. This one is a big one. Check your ego, both of you. So again, remember, I came from this, thought I was important, thought I was the man, had this significant job. You have this little fitness thingy over there. So check your ego. You now are working together. You're partners. You're partners in life. Now you're partners in this business. You should be able to work together. You will. You will have road bumps. I mean, there is going to be times that it's going to be, we're getting divorced, man. This sucks. At least I did. I don't know. It may go smooth for you. Probably not me. So that's what I'm talking. And then the other side, yeah, this is your business. Yes, you have built it to that point where that spouse can now come home and work with you. Yes, you've invested blood, sweat, and tears in this. But don't keep jamming that in. This is mine, this is mine, this is mine. You work for me. You're partners now. So again, check the egos. You're working together. It's a big thing for both people. Laser pointer. Here we go. Hey, can I get a next one? There we go. Now I'll get the next 3. Let's go. Set work hours. It's very easy when you start working together to now everything becomes work. You're talking work every time. You're talking work while watching your kids' football games. You're talking work while you're at the restaurant. Set work hours. Make sure you set work hours. And the other reason is so that you know that you have work to do. It doesn't have to be 8 to 5. You know, it could be 10 to noon, 2 to 4, 8 to 12. You know, you could do that type of stuff. But make sure you put that in your books and set work hours. Otherwise, you'll just kind of like Christine was talking about yesterday with the sales job of moving stuff around. You'll kind of just move stuff around, and then I'll go check the fridge, and nothing's there, and flip for Sports Center, and set work hours. Get stuff done. Have a plan. Set personal hours. This one's even just as important. These are the times that you are going to be away from that job. Because you are still you. There's still things that you like to do personally. You want to do with your family. You want to do together that shouldn't involve work. So that's a big thing. Remember, you know, again, you're partners for life. You didn't get married to be working all the time together. That type of stuff. You're more fun together. You have things to do. So set those. My big thing was setting a formal workspace. You know, a lot of people are like, well, my wife's got the cushy office, and now I'm at home, and well, we only have one office in the house, so I'm camping out at the kitchen table. And then I got to pack all this stuff up because kids are coming home. We got homework to do, and we have dinner to do, and tomorrow I'll do the same thing again. But now you're disorganized because now I need a stapler. I got to run over to my wife's office. Everybody stapler? Stapler. And then, you know, we're back. You're disorganized, and you're able to be distracted easily because you're not comfortable. I mean, come on, sitting in those kitchen chairs all day is not that comfortable. So that's it. Set up a formal workspace. It doesn't have to be huge, elaborate office, just somewhere that you go that's your stuff. This now goes the other way. Get out of the house. Now you're in the house all the time. You live there, you work there. Get cabin fever after a while. Set up those times that you and your wife are going, we're going to lunch. We're out of the house. We're doing something that's going to be fun. You know, get out of the house. Don't stay in the house all the time because, again, it just becomes mundane. Like, go to your office and live there. How fun is that? It's the same thing. It's the other way around. Now you're home working all the time. This one drives me nuts. Don't say you're retired. Retired is you're done. You're set. You don't have to work anymore. Can't stand this. It drives me nuts. This presentation wasn't named transitioning from your job to do nothing all day while letting your spouse bust their ass while you go ride jet skis. It's not. You didn't retire. You changed careers. You started your own business. You're partners. Don't say you're retired. It drives me nuts. Schedule a weekly meeting, at least a weekly meeting. Get on the same page. What are we doing? What do you need from me this week? What deadlines do you have that I need to help you meet? Don't just, in the hallway, hey, did you run me that report and I'll be back? Because I'm going to forget. I know I'm going to forget. If it's not in my calendar, it's not getting done. So set that meeting. I'm getting blinked at. I made 30 minutes? Yeah! We didn't think it was going to happen. The next one here. Have fun. This is supposed to be fun. You're getting in this with your spouse to have fun. This shouldn't be a job. It really shouldn't be. You left your job. Now you're coming in here and creating something together. And that's really the important part. And once you get past that part of when you first start and it's that, I'm going to get divorced because this sucks. She's nagging me. Now you got your systems down. You got your habits down. You got your place to go. You got your schedule set. This starts to get fun. You get to run things like this with you and have a dance party and be hungover and sit here today and listen to me. Oh, God, I feel so bad for you. And then again, my company perks. That's so. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being here.
Keep burning like that power.